Alright, cue the Hannah Montana music. Welcome to Beyond the Screen. I'm Nate, and these are the top 10 Hollywood stars exposed for living a double life. Number 10, Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato was once a young actress working on the Disney Channel, being on the show Sunny with a Chance and featuring in the film Camp Rock alongside Joe Jonas. Following her time on Sunny with a Chance and the Camp Rock series, Demi shifted her focus towards her music career, but things quickly started going downhill. While on camera she seemed sweet and innocent, but behind the scenes she was becoming deeply engulfed in the world of substances and violence. Unfortunately, she suffered several breakdowns over the years, having to be hospitalized several times, culminating in an overdose a few years back. And despite almost passing away, she continued her partying lifestyle, and so far as we know, she still does to this day. Number 9, Ben Affleck. These days, Ben is known for being himself in movies and playing the role to a T, something that he was also known for at the beginning of his career. But there was a brief moment in between A and B when Ben was not doing okay. The Good Will Hunting star was a good guy in the eyes of the media, he loved his brother, he loved Matt Damon, but it turns out that behind the scenes, he also loved no-no juice. It was after his time on the set of Good Will Hunting that he decided to take hold of his issues. Initially, he just wanted to quit altogether, but in 2001, he attended a rehabilitation program. This was when it was revealed that Ben had a hidden problem. He spent years going in and out of rehab, however, he has received nothing but support from his fans and the Hollywood community. These days, you can catch him on the big screen or snuggling up to his rekindled flame, Jennifer Lopez. Number 8, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen had one of the most viewed talk shows of all time until she was canceled earlier this year. Despite appearing to be a bright and cheery host on screen, behind the scenes, she was in charge of an extremely toxic work environment. Eventually, an article was released containing testimonies from several former employees, naming Ellen directly as one of the main antagonists. Ellen canceled herself by denying every single thing that she was being accused of, and instead of acknowledging her faults and missteps, she issued a half-hearted apology and was forced to cancel both herself and her show amid the controversy. Number 7, Bradley Cooper. The star of the Hangover trilogy was actually able to pull a lot of his character's life from his own experiences. While Bradley may be well known for his acting chops, he is not known for being too much of a party man, and it turns out it's because he put all of that in the past. Bradley made an appearance on the podcast Smartless, featuring Sean Hayes from Will and Grace, Jason Bateman from Ozark, and Will Arnett from Arrested Development. He got real with the gang as he was actually very close with Will Arnett for many years, claiming he was the one who encouraged and helped him to get sober. According to Bradley, when he first moved to Los Angeles, it felt like being thrown back into high school. Initially moving here for a role in the TV series Elias, he was eventually fired from the show. Being out of work while also dealing with an injury to his Achilles tendon, Bradley fell deep into no-no snow and juice that took over his every waking moment. The turnaround came in 2004 when he was having dinner with Will Arnett, who at the time was well known for mean humor as a stand-up. Will asked how Bradley felt about a dinner that they had a few nights prior with some folks that he had never met before. Believing the night went incredibly well, Will revealed that Bradley was actually incredibly rude. He was ignorant and he dropped a few swear words that I'm not allowed to say online. This was the moment that he realized he was not funny, he was just being a jerk. Bradley began attending meetings and righting his wrongs, and by the time he was in the Hangover series, he had been sober for years. When the story was first revealed, fans were thrilled to learn of his journey and how much he had overcame, being someone who was exposed, but it only made us like him more. Number 6, Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is known for a few things: family, action, being paid $1 million to say "I am Groot" over and over again, lots of stuff. But there is one thing that many people did not know about Vin Diesel until the mid-2010s. Something so dark and mysterious that it is going to haunt your dreams. Vin Diesel plays Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I know it's not like he has a no-no snow addiction or anything, but come on, that's pretty neat. While promoting his film, The Last Witch Hunter, Vin Diesel appeared on the YouTube channel Geek and Sundry, along with the epic voice actor and host of the D&D series Critical Role, Matthew Mercer. Marketing the episode as D and Diesel, Fast and Furious fans were taken back by the sudden geeky side of Vin. Well, according to his Fast co-star Michelle Rodriguez in 2019, he could not contain his nerdiness on set. Vin even even has a bunch of D&D themed tattoos on his body, and he proudly shows them to anyone who asks. Fans were actually really happy to see this side of Vin. If they wanted to keep making episodes of Dee and Diesel, I don't think anyone would be very upset about that. Number 5, Justin Bieber. Justin became a massive success at a very young age. By the time he reached his teens, he had an album on the way, millions of fans, and some pretty wild accusations. Despite being a baby-faced boy with a big smile, it turned out that Justin had secretly been a very angry man behind the scenes. Around the time he was 17, Justin was photographed flipping off the paparazzi, and he even got into a few physical altercations on multiple occasions. He had also developed a bad habit for no-no juice and a few other illicit substances, something he admitted to before he was the legal age to do anything, really. Several people just out and about started to notice his behavior shifting. Justin lacked self-awareness, and apparently he tended to swear while he was on flights or if he was in restaurants, like a lot. Eventually his whole good guy thing wore thin and he was becoming a menace. He raced cars, he spit on his fans, and he even vomited on stage. By the time 2018 rolled around, his reputation was completely tarnished. He was eventually able to scrape together his career, he apologized for his actions, and nowadays he's too busy being married to be crazy. Nah, who are we kidding? He's nuts. Number 4, Jussie Smollett. In January of 2019, famous actor Jussie Smollett walked into a Chicago police precinct and reported that he had just been the victim of a hate crime. He told the police that 2 strangers began shouting racial slurs while one was just yelling at him, the other was pouring the chemical bleach onto him before they'd both held him down and tied a rope around him. He claimed to have suffered severe rope burn and was physically ill from the experience. As we all know now, that isn't exactly what happened. The so-called strangers were actually 2 brothers who worked with Jussie on the set of the hit series Empire. According to inside sources, Jussie paid the brothers $3,500 each to help him stage the event, planning every single detail right down to the precinct visit. The proof that all of this was a ruse made up for publicity was the fact that the altercation conveniently took place directly in front of a security camera, and an investigation took place that found ample evidence that Smollett had set himself up. They found receipts for the ropes used during the altercation left in the assailant's home. Way to hide the evidence, boys. There was also security footage taken from the store where the brothers can be seen trying on and purchasing ski masks, gloves, and red hats, and I would pay anything to see that footage. It would be so fun. At the end of the day, Jussie was forced to serve 150 days in prison and pay the Chicago Police Department over $300,000 for wasting their time and resources. By the way, before you all get mad about how I'm pronouncing his name, I just want to remind you that he faked a hate crime, so maybe focus on that. Number 3, Tiger Woods. Tiger's secret life made headlines in 2009 when the news broke that he wasn't just some pro on the golf course, he was a cheater too. It turns out that the same year his son Charlie was born, that he was having several affairs, including a full-on relationship with a woman named Rachel. Before the news broke, he was the most familiest of mans around. Tiger was photographed with his wife Ellen Nordegren on numerous occasions, and the couple could not have been happier. He was a golf pro, slowly making his way to the top. He had a loving wife at home and a growing family. But it wasn't enough. This dude needed to be sneaky and make problems for himself. His secret life was revealed after one of his many lovers leaked a series of texts proving the affair. Several more women came forward, and soon enough, Tiger was running away from Ellen as she chased him with his favorite 9-iron. Tiger was forced to reveal his secret to the world, bringing shame on his career as a golfer and just a human being in general. Number 2, George Michael. George is of course very open about his orientation these days and is never one to shy away from the topic, but unfortunately coming out was not his decision to make. In 1998, George was caught engaging in a physical activity with an undercover police officer in a public restroom. The only punishment received at the time was a $500 fine and 80 hours of community service. However, it was the public reaction and press coverage that really put the nail into his coffin. The headline, "Zip me up before you go-go," was on the Sun's front page. Following the incident, he was forced to out himself to the world. There had been rumors for years that George was gay, something that he did reveal to his sister and close friends by the time he was 19. But in 2007, he revealed that he decided not to come out to his parents, claiming the emotional toll the knowledge may have on them could be too much. According to George, keeping the truth hidden for so long took a toll on his mental health. When he finally revealed the truth, a massive weight was lifted. It may not have been his choice to reveal himself to the world, but he took it in strides and became the man that he is today. today. And at number 1, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie was the king of the action scene for over 20 years. He first debuted in 1970 in Hercules in New York, and while his face was on display, his voice was dubbed over by another actor. Thus, the secret life. No, I'm just kidding. That's not the secret. It's actually his secret family that landed him on this list. As some may know, Arnold partook in a little affair with one of his housekeepers, Mildred Baina, while still married to his wife, Maria Shriver. Arnie and Maria have 4 children together, and they were not stoked to find out that they had a secret brother. Arnold was well aware that his son existed. Joseph is the youngest of his children. Born in 1997, well into his film career, Arnold was forced to hide his son and his lover. The last thing he wanted was for the world to surround his son and make growing up a nightmare. In fact, it took Arnold 7 years before he realized that Joseph was actually his. Mildred decided to keep the pregnancy a secret and continued to work for Arnold, but eventually it was obvious that Joseph was his. According to Arnold, he just noticed that Joseph was starting to look more and more like himself, and eventually everybody spoke, and Arnold knew that Joseph was his. For a few years, he decided it would be safe to conceal the truth and take care of the family under the table. But when Joseph was in the 8th grade, someone close to the family leaked the information regarding both the affair and the existence of the unnamed secret son. Arnold was forced to come out and take the heat for the affair. While Joe and Arnie are close now, it took a long time to get to that place. Of course, his main family was shocked and a little bit upset that their dad had a whole other family that he didn't tell them about, but who cares about them? Those are the Hollywood stars who were exposed for living a double life. Did we miss anyone else that's not Hannah Montana? She's not real. She's not real, Nate. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for checking out our content at the channel. Please drop a like if you had fun and show some support, and follow us for more celebrity tea time every day. Thanks for stopping beyond the screen, and we'll see you next time.